Hello and welcome to the Leading Lounge. I'm your host, Dr. Justin Dubose. Here in the Leading Lounge, we talk with today's leaders and unpack lessons learned and being learned from a career of leading and communicating in their field. These conversations are designed to be both informal and informative, and we want to equip you with wisdom and tools to empower you as a leader where you are and where you want to be. Hey everybody, welcome to episode 39 of the Leading Lounge. I'm so happy you could join me here today. I've got a topic that's near and dear to my heart for today's leadership tips and tools that I wanted to talk with you about. And before we get into it, just as a reminder, what we're doing for these leadership tips and tools episodes is we're going through this book, The Leadership Challenge, 6th edition. Cosness and Posner are the authors. Wonderful book based in research, proven over decades of research, piled upon research in different fields and different time periods in different areas of the world. So the principles here are tried and true. And as a reminder, the link to purchase this book, if you want to get it for yourself, is going to be in the show notes if you're listening on a podcast platform, or in the video description if you're watching on YouTube. So for today, we're going to look at chapter 7 of the book. And last leadership tips and tools episode 35, we looked at chapter 6, which was like storytelling and how do you communicate your vision to other people, and how do you get kind of buy-in, get people to opt in to the vision that you have. So now today's episode is really a follow-up to that. And it's looking at, once you've kind of got this vision and you're off and rolling, and now you're in your industry, you're in your field, you're doing your thing, and you've got your people with you, you've got your team with you. How do you address challenges? What do you do when you hit challenges? Because you and I both know they're inevitable. No matter what you do, no matter when you do it, no matter how you do it, you can be as careful as you want, you're going to hit these challenges. And I think what happens when we hit challenges is the very thing, or even how we approach challenges, is the very thing that distinguishes leaders from everyone else. Distinguishes leaders from everyone else. And I'm going to steal a phrase that's in chapter 7 of this book to talk about it. There was one executive said that you meet challenge with change. You meet challenge with change. And that's the mindset of the good leader, who comes in and goes, hey, we got this challenge. No problem. What can we do to overcome it? What can we do to see that we clear this obstacle and make us even better than we were before? It may be what you would call a growth mindset in some places is, hey, I want to grow and get better. I want to do this even better. We want to be even better together, corporately, as a company, as an organization. So what do we need to do? Well, we meet challenges with change. And I think it's one of the hardest things for leaders to do, because that differentiating factor of seeing challenge as a welcome obstacle. I love challenges. We know we're going to hit them. And when we do, guess what? We're just going to figure out how to adjust. What do we need to change? And we're going to get even better, and we're going to move forward. That's the thing that separates leaders from everyone else, because you and I both know, and if you don't, you will certainly find out once you step out into leading into your vision, is that most people do not like change. Most people do not like change. And even more people than that don't like continuous change. There may be people that can stomach some measure of change, but then if you go, hey, the next challenge, we're going to meet with change, they just get wearisome. They get tiresome of it. And it's something that for me personally was very aggravating is, look, I got this mindset where we're going to go in and we're going to make it even better. And we're going to see what we can do better, and we're going to do it. But you know what? Most people don't have that. And that's why most people are not leaders. That's why most people are not leaders, because they're afraid of change. Change in and of itself is the one thing that they fear more than success. And so rather than take the initiative, seize the initiative to bring about these changes, to help us overcome these challenges, whether it's at a personal level or at a corporate level, they're just not willing to do it. They don't want to do it. It's not any interest to them. What they really want to do is the same thing. They value the routine. They value the predictability. They value not having to adapt and learn things, right? Which for the leader's mindset is like, what, are you kidding me? And I think it's, in my experience, personal experience, and working as a coach with leaders from all kinds of backgrounds, it's the one thing that really frustrates good leaders is they want people who have this growth mindset, and let's address this change, and let's meet it. This challenge, and let's meet it with change. And people just by and large are not interested. So you have to have this mindset, knowing that leading into that is going to be difficult, and work to build a team around you who has that same mindset. Only have people at kind of the top table or the inner circle or whatever you want to call it be the people that have that mindset. That's probably the most important qualification that the inner circle of leaders around you can have, is let's have this idea. Because if not, what happens is, even at the inner circles of conversation and dialogue and listening and talking and strategizing and that kind of a thing, you're not even aligned philosophically. And that's going to lead to frustration, and that's going to lead to burnout. And a lot of times that's going to lead to failure. Let me give you a personal example. Let's put our storytelling that we talked about from episode 35 into practice. I stepped into an organization one time. I was in my 20s. I was placed in a leadership role, kind of the executive leader of the organization. And I went in with the mindset of, hey, where we are is just the starting point. We're going to see everything that we can do, and we're going to do it better. And we're going to figure out what changes we can make, what adjustments we need to make. And in principle, in theory, those people that were at the top table with me in that inner circle, they were all on board. Yeah, we want to get better. We want to get better. And then what I found out is that kind of one by one, the vast majority of them, there were a few that were, they're with you till the end, and they got that same mindset. And those are the joys, and those are the treasures. Keep those people close to you. But by and large, for the most part, once we began to implement change, and we had long periods of discussion about it. It wasn't as though I came in and said, hey, here's my great idea, let's implement it, ready, go. We had long discussions to get buy-in and to get people on board, and listening sessions and that kind of thing. Many hours of that. And we'd get on the same page again, in principle, in theory. And then once we began to implement those changes, oh my goodness, the level of resistance went up, because people found out that these changes began to affect them personally. Oh wait, you mean I got to do something differently? Wait, you mean I got to make this adjustment? Oh wait, I thought you meant they had to do it, No, we all got to make these changes. We're meeting these challenges with change. And so we're all going to be in this together, and we're all going to have to make these adjustments. And even in the inner circles of leadership, people were not willing to make it, and it became very divisive, to use probably an overused word, very toxic. And after a while, after a period of years, I had to go, you know what, I'm out. God's taken me somewhere else, because I've done all I can do here. So it's one of the big frustrations that leaders face in that mindset of others. But here's what I want to encourage you with today for this episode is, you have to have that mindset. Whatever field you're in, whatever industry you're in, whatever mission you have to have the mindset that we are going to meet these challenges, and we're going to meet them with change. Specifically, we're going to meet them with change. We're going to change something. People are going to have to change. Roles might have to change. They might have to evolve. We might have to think differently. We might have to act differently. We might have to work together differently. But either way, we're going to meet challenges with change in order to bring about the growth that we need. So know that going in is that the way you meet challenges as a leader, and this is again proven through research in this book, I encourage you to buy it if you haven't. We meet them through change, okay? And get everyone on the same page. It's going to affect you. It's going to be a personal change at some point where you're going to have to do something differently. You're going to have to think about something differently. We're going to have to collectively, but all individually, change what we're doing and how we're doing it in order to improve and to meet these challenges, overcome them, and grow together. And a lot of times that's going to require experimentation. Let's just try it. Let's try it. This right now, given what we know, this seems to be the best way to meet this challenge. So you try it. And you know what? You find out some things work, some things don't work. So, hey, keep what works and get rid of what doesn't work. But don't just get rid of it wholesale, reevaluate it again. Hey, so this part didn't work. What can we do differently to improve and to overcome this challenge? So understand that you're going to have that mindset. It's going to have to be a very deep part of who you are, very ingrained in your DNA. And you're going to have to preach that message over and over and over again. And you're going to have to live that message over and over and over again so that they see you not just talking about change, but embracing it and changing as necessary. And the more you do that, the more that you'll find out, who really has a seat here with me in the inner circle, who really has this mindset, who's really willing to meet challenges with change and not just talk about meeting challenges with change. And part of that, setting the expectations for yourself and for them, is understanding that it's going to be some experimenting here. We're going to try some things. They're not going to work. We're going to do some things and they're going to have the opposite effect of what we intended. But hey, the only way we grow is through change. So we're going to do it. And no growth happens without change. And no change happens without leadership. That's another thing in this chapter 7 of this book they talk about, is that over and over and over again, research shows that in order for significant change to happen, leadership has got to be there driving the change. That's the number one predictable factor of what makes change successful, is that someone is driving it, someone is pushing it, someone is the champion for it, they're preaching it, they're living it, they're, spurring others on and those kinds of things. And that I know from experience, and you'll find out if you don't already know. Oh, that can be exhausting. That can be exhausting, being the champion of change, because you celebrate these victories, when you overcome these challenges, and then guess what? There's another one right on the horizon. So you go meet it again with change, and then you've got to have the energy and the foresight to lead into that change. So all leaders face challenges. All organizations face challenges, and the best ones meet that challenge with change. So I know from personal experience that is an exhausting task. And sometimes you just need somebody to come along and hold your arms up. My arms are getting tired. They're starting to fall. Oh, here, let me help you lift your arms up. And this is where coaching really comes in handy. So I'll continue to advocate for that, is in the work you're doing. Sometimes you just need another voice, another hand, another heart to join you in that, and lift up your hands when they begin to get heavy, and encourage you and speak into that and say, look, this is where I see that you're trying to go. Let me help you get there. So if you're in those situations, you're facing these challenges, you're not sure what to do, you're not even sure what type of change is needed, please reach out. This is why I'm here. This is why Communicate to Care is here. In every video for this season, or every podcast audio, there's going to be a link to book a free consultation with me, and we'll just sit down and go, hey, where are you hurting? Like, what are the challenges you're facing? How can I help you? Do you have any idea? Sometimes you don't know, and that's fine. That's totally fine. That's what the coach is there for, is to say, hey, look, here's what I think. Based on what I've been through, based on what I've helped others through, based on what we know from research, here's what it seems to be the problem. Now, let's figure out a way to address it. And we can begin to workshop some of that change for you and for your team and for your organization, that's going to help you get over those challenges. And a lot of times with coaching, it's quicker and it's less painful. So do please reach out. You've got my email in the show notes or in the video descriptions. You've got the link, Calendly link, to book a free consultation. But I would be honored to be able to help you in any way, even if it's just one conversation, to sit down and go, this seems to be the problem, and here's how I would address it. So please reach out. I hope this episode has been a blessing to you. I want to encourage you in your leadership. I know you're facing challenges, or you will. But listen, you can do it. You can do it. It's exhausting, but you can do it, and we're here to help. So reach out to us, and let's see how we can help get you back on track and overcome the challenges and get you and your team growing into all that you can be. So God bless you in the work that you do, and we'll see you for the next episode.